To our audience at the More and More podcast, Azores Veterinary Practice. I'm here today with Santiago. Um, we have some news to break to our clients, family, and friends. But let's start by knowing a little bit more who Santiago is.
Well, thank you, Sergio, for having me here. I'm Dr. Santiago. I'm a veterinarian, and I'm the owner of Progenics Biotechnology Corp. We specialize on small ruminants, in vitro production, and reproductive procedures.
Well, in your introduction, you kind of let the cat out of the bag. I wanted to let everyone know, and we'll talk a little bit about the project. But we, I guess, sealed a deal yesterday regarding a new partnership between Azores Veterinary Practice and your company, Progenic Biotechnology. And the goal is to provide our clients and the West Coast in general with advanced repro services on bovine and also small ruminant. And Santiago and his company brings in expertise, experience in the field, and we are thrilled that we can announce this new partnership. And like I said, the goal is to provide um, excellent IVF services for these different species. So, Santiago, how did you start this line of work? You know, graduated from vet school, and how did you start? Well, when did you decide that this was something you wanted to do?
Well, no, thank you for the introduction, Sergio. And well, everything started back in vet school. Since I was probably in 2015, it really started. I was a Dorper breeder by the time. I started doing conventional flushes on my own Dorpers, and after seeing some of the side effects of the conventional flushes, I started with the IVF. Started with the IVF slowly, and it has been a large path to take to get where we are today. You know, we have failed a lot, but finally we were able to have some consistent results, and always trying to keep an excellent service for our customers. But basically, I did graduate from vet school in Colombia, and I went through all my accreditation here in America. But like I mentioned, I always had a passion for reproductive technologies. So since vet school, it has been always a passion.
Great, great. And then for some of our audience that does not understand or is not familiar with these advanced repro techniques, you know, you mentioned conventional flush. That's usually what used to be done and is still done in both bovine and small ruminants. But could you just explain a little bit in kind of lay terms what IVF stands for and how do we do it in small ruminants and cows too?
Absolutely. So basically, IVF stands for in vitro fertilization. So that means we will go in cattle and sheep and goats through different techniques. We go directly to the ovary. We harvest the oocyte from the ovary directly. And then we take all the process in a lab where we do the fertilization on a petri dish. And then we put those fertilized zygotes in culture for, depending on sheep or I mean small ruminants and cattle, could be 6 days or 7 days in cattle. Okay, so there's a lot of advantages to it. I mean, one of them, just to start right away, will be you can use different matings on the same donor at the same time. You can do it more frequently. In the case of the small ruminants, you can do it every month. In the cow, in the cow part, you can do it every 2 weeks without generating any detrimental issues to that donor. So I think IVF, it's gonna be a game changer for those people with high value donors that want to maximize their investment and trying to get out the most out of it without the high risk, especially on the small ruminant, on having to cut them open and
Yes.
do a surgical flushing. You know, even though it's a surgical, procedure to harvest those oocytes. It's a minimum invasive procedure where you just poke with three trocars and you're able to retrieve those oocytes. So it's a great advantage.
Yeah, we kind of know, like, as professionals, that an embryo program at both the cow level and also small ruminant level and other species, it's a great way to improve your herd genetically. They say that on average it takes about 30 years for an artificial insemination program to really turn and put your herd at top genetics. And with embryo transfer and IVF, you can do it way faster. And I'm glad you mentioned the pros, the advantages of IVF. And because, like in cows, you said it, we can repeat it every 2 weeks. That's excellent. We cannot do that in small ruminants. But now with IVF in small ruminants, it's what you said before. The conventional flushes, you have to do, it's not major surgery, but it's kind of major surgery, and you're limited how many times you can open that abdomen to get that uterus out and flush those embryos that you generate inside of the uterus of the donor. And with this, it's exactly what you said. It's like the three small holes with the trocars, with a camera, and you go there. And the fact that you can go there once a month, imagine, like, if you can do in 1 year 6 or 7 of these collections harvesting from your top donors, you can generate a lot of good genetics really, really quickly. And then, so that's what we're going to be doing over here. We will be announcing very soon our first date that we will be able to do these services over here at the Clinic Azores in Troloc. The process will start with us harvesting over here, and then doing the in vitro fertilization back in Oklahoma, where Dr. Santiago has his lab. But as we speak, we are getting our lab over here at Azores complete, and hopefully, way before the end of the year, we would be able to do even the lab part over here. And then, in conjunction, in partnership with Progenics Biotechnology, we're more than excited. It's a service that I've been dreaming for a very long time to offer over here at Azores Veterinary Practice. And I'm super excited and thankful that you guys are willing to partner up with us. I think it's going to be a very, very good project. And just to give our viewers, clients, future clients, hopefully, a little bit of background. I mentioned Oklahoma because that's where you live and where you have your lab. But what's your territory? Which other, do you go to other states to do this type of work? What's your kind of background on as a company that provides these services?
Well, again, Sergio, I want to say thank you for partnering up with Progenics. We're pretty excited about this partnership, and especially being able to offer all the small ruminant and the cattle people this service. To answer that question, I will say that we are in Utah, we're in Indiana, we're in Oklahoma. We also go to Texas. We go to Arkansas, to Kansas. So we cover a big radius from Oklahoma, but we're very, very, very thrilled to be able to have this service here in the West Coast. And for us, it's gonna be a game changer, to be honest, because we don't see the, especially on the small ruminant part, these producers having access to this technology consistently here in this part of the world. So we're, like I said, we're very, very happy.
Oh, that is awesome. And like I said, we are also. And then I also want to kind of put it out there that we will be offering these, especially when we have the lab running, these services is over here at the clinic, and we can also go to farms and do it. But as soon as the lab is up and running, it will be a lab that it's also open to other practitioners that are out there harvesting, and they want a different solution to their the lab portion of the embryo programs. I know there's some really big competitors out there, but we will be able to also offer that to other practitioners.
Yes, yes, Sergio. And now that you mentioned that part, we want to be really clear with our customers and other allied practitioners that there's gonna be a physical lab here in
Yes.
California, just for everybody to understand. It's not things are not gonna be grown always in Oklahoma. It's gonna be here in California, okay, in a Soros veterinary practice. So just for the good
Yes.
understanding of everybody, it's gonna be a full lab here in the state of California.
Absolutely, and I hope I didn't get people confused. I mentioned that at the beginning that we were going to do some of that, but it's just as we're setting up the lab
Yes, yes.
and then the lab just this morning unpacking some of the equipment. We know we're close to being, and I think our goal over here would be way before the end of the year, but before December 2025, the lab will be up and running and hopefully generating a lot of embryos in multiple species. So again, Santiago, thank you for coming out here. We're gonna be seeing a lot of you hopefully in the near future and your team, and we are more than thrilled and excited to be able to get this service going. So
No, thank you so much, Sergio, and looking forward for the bright future. And please keep tuned. We are gonna update our following dates coming up in the few upcoming days.
so thank you.
Thank you.
Good.